Good morning, class 9. So today we will discuss the main latitudes. Okay. So let's start with equator. Okay, that is 0 degree latitude, equator. In the figure you can see equator, the line which is dividing the North Pole and South Pole. It is equidistant. Alright, it is equidistant from North Pole and South Pole, and it divides the Earth exactly into two equal halves. In the previous video already we have discussed that it divides the Earth into two hemispheres, northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. Okay, so that is 0 degree latitude, and it is also known as equator. Now let us talk about equator. It is the longest parallel of latitude. What is the length of equator? It is 40,077 kilometer. It is also a boundary between northern and southern hemisphere. Already we have discussed this one also, that this line divides the Earth into two halves, northern and southern hemisphere. It is great circle. As you can see in the figure, alright, so it is the longest circle which can be drawn over the Earth. Alright, so it is also a great circle. It is a border of the equatorial plane. Alright, it is also a border of the equatorial plane. Okay, so we have read it. Okay, that since it divides, if we cut that globe into two halves, okay, we are having that equatorial plane. Alright, so it is the border of the equatorial plane. Now the next important latitude is the Tropic of Cancer. Its value is 23.5 degree north. In the figure, I think you can see. Okay, so this is 23.5 degree north. Okay, so 23.5 degree north, that is called the Tropic of Cancer. Now this Tropic of Cancer, as we can see here, it is the northward limit of the vertical solar radiation. It is the northward limit. It is the northward limit of the tropical or torrid zone. It is the boundary between the tropical or torrid zone and temperate zone in the northern hemisphere. Now these are the the features of this Tropic of Cancer. Okay. Now what is the feature of the Tropic of Cancer? First, it is the northward limit of the vertical solar radiation. One thing you should understand, the movement of that sun. Okay, now see this figure. Alright, the movement of that sun, you know that it starts from equator 0 degree and it reaches up to 23.5 degree north. Then it again comes back to 0 degree and then it goes to 23.5 degree south, that is Tropic of Capricorn. So that is the limit. That means the sun's movement actually is between the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. The sun never shines vertically over the North Pole or South Pole. Alright, its boundary is between the tropics. Is it clear? That is why it is said that its northward movement, alright, the sun's northward movement is up to the Tropic of Cancer. Alright, and it is also the northward limit of the tropical or torrid zone. Zone, I think you may have read in the lower classes. Again we will read about it. Zone, that means the Earth can be divided into three actually heat zones. One is called the torrid zone. Okay, that is the hottest zone. Alright, that is the area in which the the sun moves. Alright, that is between the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. So that is called torrid zone. Okay, and that is also, so the 23.5 degree north is the northern limit of the torrid zone. Alright, likewise 23.5 degree south is the southward limit of the torrid zone. Alright, now this Tropic of Capricorn, okay, in the figure you can see 23.5 degree south. It is very similar to the Tropic of Capricorn in the figure, as you can see. Okay, try to see that figure. It is a small circle. It is smaller than the line of equator, that is great circle. Likewise, Tropic of Capricorn and Tropic of Cancer both are smaller than the equator. It is also the southward limit of the temperate zone, and also it experiences summer solstice on 21st of June. Okay, so that is about the it is about the 23.5 degree north. Okay, so two things are there about the 23.5 degree north. Actually this figure is of 23.5 degree north. So 23.5 degree north is smaller than the equator. On the other hand, the summer solstice, alright, that means the sun shines vertically over 23.5 degree north, that is Tropic of Cancer, on which date? 21st of June. Okay. Now the Tropic of Capricorn, alright. So the Tropic of Capricorn, the same thing is there. It is the southward limit of the vertical solar radiation. That means in south, the sun travels up to the Tropic of Capricorn. Second thing is that it is the southward limit of the tropical or torrid zone. So northern limit is Tropic of Cancer and the southern limit is Tropic of Capricorn. Alright, and it is also a small circle, and the size is smaller than the equator. Now that in that 23.5 degree south, okay, that is called the Tropic of Capricorn. The winter solstice, it occurs on 22nd of December, and it also marks the northward limit of the south temperate zone. The next one is the Arctic Circle. Okay, that is 66.5 degree north. It is the northward limit of the temperate zone. Okay, so the second zone is called temperate zone. Alright, temperate zone, that area receives slanting sun's rays. Okay, so the northern limit of the temperate zone is up to 66.5 degree north, and the southern limit is up to the 66.5 degree south. Okay, duration of daylight can be 24 hours or 0 hours beyond this limit. That means if you move beyond 66.5 degree north or beyond 66.5 degree south, then either the sun's rays will fall there in that region for 24 hours or for 0 hour. That means for 6 months that area is experiencing daylight, and the next 6 months it experiences night. Alright, that is for both 66.5 degree north and 66.5 degree south. The next one is 90 degree north and 90 degree south. So 90 degree north is called North Pole and 90 degree south is called South Pole. One of the two smallest parallels of latitude, that is depicted as dot. Okay, the one dot is 90 degree north and other dot is 90 degree south. Okay, second thing is that it is the northward limit of the frigid zone. Okay, North Pole is the northward limit of the frigid zone, and southward limit of the frigid zone is South Pole. Frigid zone, that means totally slanting sun's rays are falling there, or there is no sun's rays, alright, for a part of the year. That is why the temperature in that region is very, very low. So we call it frigid zone. That means it is always in a frozen state. Okay. Next thing is that it experiences 24 hours of day. Alright. So North Pole experiences 24 hours of day on 22nd of June and 24-hour night on 22nd December. On the other hand, that South Pole, it experiences 24 hours of day on 22nd December, that is that is the winter solstice, and 24 hours night on 21st June, that is summer solstice. Okay, so that is what that is the information about the important or the main latitudes. Now let us discuss about the characteristics of the parallels of latitude. First characteristic is all parallels of latitude are circular lines. Okay, so these are not simple lines, these are circular lines. All the parallels of latitude. And how many parallels of latitude are there? 181. Okay, but the poles, that is South Pole or North Pole, okay, it is only a point, it is not a circle, it is a point. Second one is all parallels of latitude are parallel to each other. Okay, so these are parallel to each other, that means these are equidistant from each other. Alright, all the points on that latitude. Third one is parallels of latitude are equally spaced. Okay, so the distance between these parallels of latitudes is always the same. Parallels of latitudes are the true east-west lines. That is also a very important thing, that these are the true east-west line. That means it moves from east to west. The longest parallel of latitude is the equator. So which is the longest parallel of latitude? It is the equator, because it divides the earth exactly into two halves. And also other parallel decreases as we move from equator towards north or towards south. Equator is a great circle, okay, and all other parallels of latitude are small circles. Alright, and South Pole and North Pole are merely a dot, points. Parallels of latitude intersect the meridians of longitude at right angles. In the previous video we have talked about it, that when the parallels of latitude and the longitudes, when it intersect, it forms grid. Alright, so when it intersects at an angle of 90 degree. Okay. Now here is a calculation of distance between two consecutive parallels of latitude. Alright, so you can see here difference in distance between two consecutive parallels of latitude. It can be calculated using the given formula. What is that formula? That means distance between two consecutive parallels of latitude, it is always equal to the circumference of the earth divided by 360 degree. So how much is the circumference of the earth? It is 40,077 kilometer. Okay, and it is divided by 360. So the answer is 111 kilometer. Okay, so if it is 0 degree and 1 degree, okay, so the distance between 0 degree and 1 degree is how much? 111 kilometer. What is the distance between 1 degree north and 2 degree north? It is always 111 kilometer. Alright, so that is the distance. In the next video, we will talk about the parallels of latitude and heat zones. Alright, that is climatic zones of the earth. Alright, and one more thing, whatever question answers are there in the previous chapter which we have already read, that is chapter 1 and 2, you have to write the answers of all those questions, alright, in your notebook, and the notebook has to be submitted in the school on 13th of this month. Alright, that is Monday, on Monday. Alright, in the coming Monday you have to submit your notebook. Alright, you can ask your parent to come to school on that day with the notebook. Alright, and you have to submit it. And in the next video I will tell you about the syllabus for the first term examination. Alright, the syllabus will be given to you. Alright, and also you have to prepare for that exam, that is online exam. Okay, so learn and prepare yourself for the exam. Thank you.